Lordy, 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 Lordy. Help me, Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. All things Jesus. Grand Rising Israel, Shalom. Yeah, I'm mocking Jesus. I'm mocking baby Jesus. Only because of all these things that's going on. It's voting season, and matter of fact, today is the day. And I'm gonna show y'all some things about the children of Israel. All things leading to us as a lost people. And speaking on that voting, if you understand why a lot of black folks don't participate in voting, like that Malcolm X clip I'm gonna play, out of 11 million voters in, what was that, 1959 through 1961, something like that, only 3 million of those black votes, those Negro votes, needed to be counted to help win an election, to sway the election. But if all 11 million voted, they would use the electors as they always do. This is showing you proof that you are still counted as 3/4 of a man. So just more mockery of you, God's chosen people, the children of Israel. You know, and I'm seeing a lot of Latino voting for Trump out of the Texas area. You know, it's a lot of our fellow Israelite brothers that don't know who they are, influenced by those that colonized them, the same as we have been with those Uncle Toms. They got Uncle Juans. And with the surnames, watching what they post in support of Trump, and it's crazy, man. But I want y'all to, I'm gonna share all those things, including this with y'all. Gotta see this for yourself. I remember seeing this image on a bumper sticker when I was like 9 years old in California. We had just moved to California like in 77, so I was 7 at that time. It might have been 78. But I remember seeing this and I was wondering what the fish, what was that symbol about? It was, we was in San Francisco and I saw that symbol and I seen it a couple times, bumper stickers or window stickers, and it was Jesus. So check this out. And as y'all can see, this is still the marquee for Google as I'm on here searching a couple of things. And they must keep you mesmerized. If people not understanding we in prophetic times, some people gonna stumble across this video because of the title and not understand what's really going on. I advise you to click on related videos to this material, even some of my previous ones, and get a clue. Whether or not you care to or not, this is what's reality around us, around you. So I was talking to my daughter's mother, and she was telling me that they doing it again with the toilet paper. As we were commanded not to follow the heathen and do as the heathen, as we seen, they do not know what they do or what the hell is going on, and we cannot follow these fools down any rabbit holes. So I was also having a conversation with Shannon, and we was talking about, you know, the projected violence, you know, people boarding up businesses and everything. Let me say this pertaining to Esau, Edom, white folks, and they projected crime if Trump loses. Edomites aren't going to do anything outside of their zip code in rural areas. They're not coming into no urban population, city populations, and doing nothing. The most they capable of is doing some random act of violence, throwing rocks and hiding their hands, meaning they might shoot a passing vehicle. They're not about to be gathering in numbers and protesting shit. Now, black folks, on the other hand, I can't really check the temperature on that because I personally am unattached with the emotions of politics and relating to its purpose, knowing that I'm an Israelite. I can't even see how black folks would get upset to do some harm to anybody because of the loss of the election. We already, as a people, lost people, done 4 years of this clown. So what would another 4 hurt? Anybody projecting to do anything, or even rioting, looting, anything, that would serve no purpose. I don't see it. I really don't see it. And it would serve most to the Most High's understanding of scriptures of end times for Trump to win. Because this is captivity for the Israelites, the Native Indians, the tribe of Gad, the Negroes, the tribe of Judah, Ephraim, the Puerto Ricans, the Benjamin, the Jamaicans, Levi, the Haitians, Issachar, the Mexicans. These are the chosen people of Israel, tribes, who have all been oppressed by Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And we've been in captivity as Deuteronomy details. So it would not really serve any purpose for Biden to win, but I don't know. Like I said, I just don't see it. It would serve purpose to keep Esau over us with some disdain for hatred of their evil, which they're known to perpetuate and never be held accountable for. So let them bask in their glory in their kingdom. So a lot of our people have been catfished. That's going into that Jesus fish that I was showing you. I want to show y'all something relating to that fish.
Okay, so what's a catfish? Well, for starters, it was an indie documentary about how I met a girl online who lived in Michigan. I fell in love with her even though I'd never actually met her. We had a couple potential titles for the film, such as The Facebook Family, Naive Neve, House of Muses, and my personal favorite, Michigan Impossible. But we ended up calling it Catfish. Turns out she was not the hot 19-year-old girl she'd presented herself to be, and was actually sort of a troubled 40-year-old mom instead.
Surprise me.
Our documentary actually ended up inspiring a term that found its way onto Urban Dictionary. A catfish is someone who pretends to be someone they're not, using Facebook or other social media to create false identities. So why did we call it Catfish? Well, when I finally met the 40-year-old mom, I also met her husband, and he told us this amazing story. They used to take live cod in these giant vats on ships from Alaska to China. But by the time the codfish got to China, their flesh would become mush and tasteless. So some guy had the bright idea of putting catfish in these vats with the cod to chase them around and keep them moving. And he finished by saying that he thanked God for the catfish, because life would be droll, boring, and dull if we didn't have someone nipping at our fins.
So, catfishing is a deceptive practice, basically. When you have a understanding that's a lie to lure masses in, if you want to say that, or someone or some people to believe in something that's not true, using the identity of something else. America, giving you the American flag versus the Confederate flag, which there is no difference. You got the American flag that they wave proudly and tell you that they stand with the American flag as a symbol, meaning they don't want you kneeling like Kaepernick, but they'll wave that same flag while a cop kneels on George Floyd's neck to death. No different than the Confederate flag. So you've been catfished into believing that this entity of Esau, Edom, Babylon, keeps giving you hope. Now I'm going to give you something you need to understand about Esau, Edom. And coming from what I shared the other day with Malcolm X, speaking on the left-wing, right-wing, Democratic, Republican, liberal, conservative bird, Esau, Edom, the eagle. Let's finish with this definition so you get a full understanding of this definition.
Of deceptive activity involving a person creating a sock puppet social networking presence for nefarious purposes. The modern term originated from the American documentary Catfish, 2010. Catfishing can be part of a romance scam. According to Vince Pierce, the husband of Angela Pierce, who deceptively creates an online profile in the documentary film, the term catfish comes from fishermen putting catfish in with a cod to nip at their tails and keep them active during overseas transport in order to produce more lively and fresh meat. This etymology has been described as having all the hallmarks of apocryphal folklore by Ben Zimmer writing for the Boston Globe, pointing out that catfish were used as a kind of Christian parable, referring to the Atlantic rather than the Pacific fishing trade, in Henry W. Vincent's 1913 Essays in Rebellion, and again in Charles Marriott's novel The Catfish, published later the same year. The term rose in popularity during an incident involving University of Notre Dame football star Mandy Te'o in 2013. According to a Washington Post article, the Rolling Stone University of Virginia Ray Polk's story may have been an example of catfishing. Catfishing has proven to be a way for some online users to explore their sexual identities. For example, on the MTV show Catfish, based on the documentary, a girl named Sunny connects with a male model named Jameson who is, in reality, Chelsea, a female using her alternative identity to interact with other females in an online space.
When this world wakes up and realizes that this eagle has catfished them, it's going to be well too late. Well too late. That understanding of catfishing, seeing that you're understanding the identity of something, but it's not it. You're going to find out who Esau Edom is, who Satan is, Lucifer, as wrote in scriptures, and see how this Christian, Catholic, Roman church are one big catfish served to us, the children of Israel. They've all bought into this understanding of something that it is not. And many have sold their soul to be a part of it. Even, what do you say? Pass their children through the fire. This particular segment is for the Negro voter.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives, either to get into power or to retain power. Among whites here in America, the political teams are no longer divided into Democrats and Republicans. The whites who are now struggling for control of the American political throne are divided into liberal and conservative camps. The white liberals from both parties cross party lines to work together toward the same goal. And white conservatives from both parties do likewise. The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress. In the New York Tribune, in an editorial dated February the 5th, 1960, they pointed out that out of 11 million qualified Negro voters, only 2,700,000 actually take time to vote. This means that, roughly speaking, only 3 million out of the 11 million Negroes who are qualified to vote take an active part, and the remaining 8 million remain voluntarily inactive. And yet it is this small minority, the 3 million Negro voters, who help determine who will be the next president. If who will be the next president can be influenced by 3 million Negro voters, it is easy to see why the presidential candidates of both political parties put on such a false show with the Civil Rights Bill and promises of integration. They must impress the 3 million voting Negroes who are the actual integration seekers. And if so much fuss is made over these 3 million integration seekers, what would the presidential candidates have to do to appease the 8 million non-voting Negroes if they ever decided to become politically active? They hold the balance of power. Who are the 8 million non-voting Negroes? What do they want? And why don't they vote? The 3 million Negro voters are the so-called middle-class Negroes, or high-class Negroes, or uppity Negroes, who are referred to by the late Howard University sociology professor E. Franklin Frazier as the black bourgeoisie, who have been educated to think as patriotic individualists with no racial pride whatsoever, who believe in and look forward to the future integrated, intermarried society that is constantly being promised to them by the Negro politician. And therefore, this integration...
That description, that's your Uncle Juan and your Uncle Tom. The Hispanic trying to be accepted by this world with the last name Gonzalez, Hernandez, Perez, and the Negro that moved his ass to the suburb. Nothing wrong with moving to the suburbs for either of these people. It's when you sell your soul and your identity to be accepted by somebody else, somebody else's nation that don't receive you unless you give up who you are.
Minded 3 million minority remain an active part of the white-controlled political parties. But it must never be overlooked that these 3 million Negro integration seekers are only a small minority of the 11 million qualified Negro voters. The 8 million non-voting Negroes are the majority, the downtrodden black masses. They have refused to vote. They have refused to take a part in politics because they reject the Uncle Tom approach of the clergy politician leadership that has been handpicked for the so-called Negroes by the white man himself. This clergy politician leadership does not speak for the Negro majority. They don't speak for the black masses. They speak for the black bourgeoisie brainwashed, white-minded, middle-class minority who, because they are ashamed of their race, because they are ashamed of being black and don't want to be identified with black, they are seeking to lose this black identity by mixing and mingling and intermarrying and integrating with the white society. They are seeking to lose this black identity by mixing and mingling and intermarrying and integrating with the white society. The race problem cannot be solved by listening to the white-minded, brainwashed minority. The white man must try to learn what the black majority wants. The president would be wise to try and learn what the black masses want. If the 3 million middle-class Negroes are casting their ballots for integration and intermarriage, what do the non-voting black masses who are in the majority want? Find out what the black masses want, and then perhaps America's grave race problem can be solved.
And this is a blanket understanding for so-called minorities who actually are the majority. This is what you must do. Lose your identity and give up your heritage and culture, which is influenced by Esau Edom through captivity, slavery, and colonialization. But nevertheless, you must give up anything, language, ways of celebrating, all that, and take on their identity. Wave the American flag. And in a sense, you're doing what Esau did, giving up your birthright. Google that for any of you minorities, Negroes who don't know certain things about the Israelites pertaining to the Bible. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm new to this, 5 years in, and it would serve you well to understand that that Bible has nothing to do with religion at all, but about a God, his people, and his power. And if you're mentioned in this as one of those being identified as his people, it would serve your purpose very well to find out exactly what's going on. In the book of Obadiah is what the Most High is about to be setting forth, which this election is pivotal to understanding the way this world is being steered. So that's why I was saying about who could win the election. I don't have a dog in this fight. We don't. Us this woke. But just trying to figure it out and see signs, that's what we're paying attention to. Us this woke, Israel. So if you want to open your Bible to the chapter of Obadiah, Google it, open your Bible to it. I'm going to show a video of it depicting. In the Bible, the Most High God of Israel, the God I am of that book, not Jesus, God I am, the only God that destroys and creates. He split Israel into two, the northern and southern kingdoms. The southern kingdom being the darker shade of Israelites, the Negroes, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. Judah being the Negroes here in America, Benjamin being the Jamaicans, and Levi being the Haitians. That's the southern tribes. The northern tribe, the 10 tribes, consisted of the Puerto Ricans, or the tribe of Ephraim, the Native Indians, the tribe of Gad, and the Hispanics, the Mexicans, tribe of Issachar. Just to name a few of them, you know. All originally melanated people, which the 10 tribes were colonialized, and a lot of their bloodline got whitewashed. That's why you have lighter Latinos. Nevertheless, you can see darker people in their race. If you ever been to any of these locations, you know these people are dark. When he split these kingdoms, he sent the northern kingdom over to America first. which is, like I said, why you got the largest pyramid and oldest pyramid in Mexico. The southern tribe was the only ones left, as 2 Kings 17 detail. Only Judah, the tribe of Judah, consisting of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, were left in the land of the continent of Africa, where we're from, Jerusalem, all of us. And that's how we went into slavery. From Jerusalem, we fled into the interior of Africa. These are the children of Israel. Obadiah details Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is going to be punished for his treatment and his dealing with the children of Israel. So this gives credence to the understanding why we woke. We understand fully what's going on. We're not championing or celebrating this presidential election. You all have been catfished. So when I show you this Obadiah, notice what he says about Israel and Jacob. Jacob being Judah of the tribe, the 12 tribe, Salakia, the southern tribe. Israel he identified as the 10 tribes, the Latinos, the Native Indians, etc. As you see in the beginning of this depiction I'm going to show you, it's going to show you Esau, who is the white man, standing behind an image of a Latino man and a Negro, representing the children of Israel. And this is showing you and telling you what God wrote, what he's going to do to Esau Edom in end times for their treatment of us. So I'm bringing this to a climax with this understanding so you can see how this plays all into what we've been witnessing and who the people are. There's no denying this. As far as their judgment, they were allowed to do this to us because it was a punishment, but they exceeded their treatment of us. In Obadiah, you're going to see a depiction, and as you also read, you're going to hear him clearly say, identifying Esau Edom as the eagle. Thus, you exalt yourself as the eagle and plant your nest amongst the stars. Giving reference to Trump and his government just starting a 5th branch of military. Military means for war or defense. 5th branch of military called SpaceX. Knowing they can't defeat Iran on land, they then created a 5th branch of military to fight what? Out there. Open your Bible to Obadiah. Let's see.
Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom, and understanding out of the mount of Esau? And thy mighty men, O Timon, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them. But thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape. Neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it.
So this is just a drop in the bucket for understanding. We all, being affiliated with this world, have been catfished. This whole world. Esau, Edom, his descendants, his bloodline, they got hell to pay. And if you can't just look at these images and feel disgusted that we as a people or individuals have went out our way to be like these heathens and accepted by them. Look at them. They don't even age. Oh my God. You look at the movie like Get Out. You got to be a worldly individual to not understand how blessed you are, but to be influenced and misled to seek this as a path. This is disgusting. And like I said, it ain't no difference in this wing versus the Biden wing. They all are evil. This is not to influence you to, if you still in the world, to feel no certain way of this heathen versus the other heathen. They're both going to get you the same reward following these beasts. I mean, you can just look at them, man. The things we've done in this world to be of this world, selling our soul to be affiliated with the actions of the heathens who we were commanded not to do as nor follow. You got R. Kelly, what's his name? Simmons, Russell Simmons, all these fools on the run and locked up, Bill Cosby, trying to be like the heathen in their world, in their kingdom, and paying a dear price for it. I can only imagine the price this heathen, she done paid, her and Oprah, you know. Imagine the things they done to this beast to be accepted in that world that they got. I mean, just look at them. I'm talking about her. But they want to degrade R. Kelly, not Tell them what secrets they have. Esau, you got it coming. And like I say, if any of you Uncle Juans, Uncle Toms out there looking to hold hands and celebrate and continue to be food and catfish, this gonna be your celly, where the Most High sending y'all. That's gonna be your brother for life, because you have sold your birthright. That's the grandmother and the granddaughter. So that one on the left gonna end up looking like the one on the right. Your kingdom, choose it. Our people, that Bible has nothing to do with religion at all. So if anybody coming across this, you're starting to connect the dots, you better start connecting fast. It might not happen this week, next year, or the next 4 years, but it's gonna happen. The Most High is tearing this kingdom down. Self-explanatory. Let me see if I can get that. You read that? Esau, Edom. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that followeth. There's another kingdom coming. This one has to be torn down. With that, I'm going to leave y'all with this, all praise to the Most High for us that's woke, that's getting it, stay vigilant. We got blessings. We're not we're paying attention, but we're not sitting down waiting for the outcome. It is what it is. We've done 4 years with this clown. Putting another clown in there with a smaller hat on, same clown. None of them are going to do anything for us. The same as Obama, the Hamite, the African, didn't do anything for us. Obama is not an Israelite. He is not of us. Obama don't have no facial hair. He's a Hamite. They used him to catfish us, to believing that we're just like him, to keep us swimming around, to keep our meat fresh, like Catfish said, all healthy and vibrant, producing. As you see all the Israelites out here in this world, in these industries, the Mexicans, the Issachars out in the lettuce field picking lettuce at 105-degree temperature in Arizona, year round. Negroes and Mexicans in factories producing all the labor. We've been catfished. Wake up. All praise to the Most High, God of Israel. I am. That's his name. Shalom.